Okay, looks like everything is a go. Want to do it every time. All right. Let me just do one quick check and then I'll see, just double, triple check that we're live. And then we will get started here. Let's see here. One quick second. And I think we're streaming. Yeah, we are. We're streaming. Okay, wonderful. Thank you all so much. Welcome. Hi, this is Rodney Washington, your host for day number 2 of our Coloring Book Creator interview series, which will be uh, also a part of a new podcast that I'm launching in a couple of weeks of the same name. And I am very excited to be with you here today for day number 2. Looks like the gods are smiling favorably on us, technological wise. So we're going to be good. So again, welcome, and I'm so glad to have you here. Today I am interviewing Contona B, who is the author of the wonderful coloring and activity book called Be a Blessing, Not a Bully. She just gave me a little piece of exciting news a few minutes ago, which I'll have her share with you a little bit later. But I'm so glad to have you here. I'm really excited about this opportunity to share, again, one of these amazing artists with you and what they've done. And I'm just excited to have you here. So, again, if you're here in the chat, feel free to say hi. Let me know you can hear me. I see a couple of my feet here. Okay, wonderful. I see some names coming through. So I think we're good to go. So we're going to jump right into the interview, and then I'm going to give some announcements at the end. And again, I really appreciate your time for joining us today, because I'm very excited about this wonderful new artist and author of this amazing new book. So without further ado, Contona, how are you?
I am great. Thank you, Rodney. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So tell us a little about yourself. Who are you, and how did you get? What inspired you to create a coloring book?
I am a coloring book author officially as of August the 10th, 2022. And I want to thank you, Rodney, for posting on Facebook. I seen this post come across my news feed asking if you wanted to create a coloring book in 30 days. And I was like, sure, why not? I had already worked on a couple of books and I didn't know how to publish them. So I said, well, let me just put those to the side and let me embark on this coloring book journey. Well, I had initially started working on a book about anti bullying. And then I thought, well, why not marry the two? So I created the coloring book on anti bullying. And so that's how Be a Blessing, Not a Bully came about. And that's how it was born.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let me ask you this question: why bullying? Why did you choose that as your subject?
Initially, I chose it because I know that there is a lot of bullying going on in the schools and it's not being addressed. And
Mhm.
as a result of doing research, I learned something about myself. And that is that I was a silent bully, which is not really talked about, ironically. And a silent bully is a person that kind of manipulates a situation when they don't get what they want. And so like when you have a conflict, the goal is to get a resolution. And in my case, when I shut down, there was no resolution.
Mm,
So I have started going to therapy to learn how to deal with the situations and not shut down so that a person can get a resolution. So
mm,
it has helped me. It has opened my eyes and it has
mhm,
matured me. And I am
mhm.
just so grateful for this journey already.
Yeah, it's fascinating that, and I think that's what I personally love about, which I didn't foresee coming, is what Cantona just mentioned. I created a program called Publish and Promote Your Coloring Book in 30 Days. And Cantona was one of several people that signed up for the program. And one of the things that I said very early on in the beginning of this was to me, our best work comes out of our own personal experience. At least that's where my coloring book came from. And because to me, when it's personal like that,
Yes.
you put more into it, you put more care into it because you've lived it and you've gone
Right.
through it. So I know that the book, which actually let me show you all, This is it here. It's a beautiful book. It's called Be a Blessing, Not a Bully. And I wanted to, and this is the back of it here. And it is a coloring slash activity book. And it has all kinds of little exercises inside them. It's got doodles, it's got little notes, things that, that readers or colorists can pull out. And what I wanted to ask you is, while the book, and you do say at the bottom that it's for children ages 5 to 13, so I know the intention behind this for a child. But I honestly feel, and based on your story you just shared for your own experience, I feel like adults can get a lot out of it too. Have you found that to be your experience?
Yes. And as a result of me sharing the coloring book, people started sharing with me various stories where they have either encountered bullying or have been a bystander of bullying. So they've witnessed it. There was one young man that shared with me how there was a young lady in a wheelchair and someone walked past her and smacked all of her books onto the floor.
Oh no.
Well, he went over and he introduced himself and picked up her books and gave them back to her. So it has opened up the conversations about bullying and is bringing it to the forefront of our minds so that we can start talking more about it and be able to have a solution.
Hmm. Hmm. It's so fascinating. When you told me about the title of your book, I was so excited. So this program that Cantona just went through started in early July. And I don't know if that was weeks after the whole Uvalde situation that happened in Texas. And I had a thought. I don't steer anyone to a particular subject or topic, but I did have the thought is if someone would do a book around, well, I thought possibly around gun violence, and go into schools and talk about it. But and I've never said this to you, Cantona, what made me think even deeper when you shared what you want to make your book about was long before the gun gets picked up, there's issues going on with that person long before they go to that extreme. And so to be able to address and try to work through some of that anger and those issues and be able to express to an adult how they're feeling, maybe those things can be neutralized and caught long before it gets to that level. And I've never shared that with you, but that's what I thought when I saw your book, is that you're actually hopefully prayerfully catching it before it gets to that stage. Has that been your experience in talking to people about the book as well?
Yes, and that is my goal is to be able to talk to the children and have a fun atmosphere so that they can open up and not feel intimidated. And so we'll learn more about the situations that they've encountered, the emotions that they have, just things like that, so that it doesn't escalate into gun violence throughout
Mm-hmm.
the schools. And
Mm-hmm.
what I've learned is that some of the people that have um, done the mass shootings were bullied as a child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I would like to be able to prevent that so that our children can feel safe when they go to school and that
Mm-hmm.
our parents won't have to worry about whether or not their children are going to come back home dead
Yes.
or alive. Yes.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Absolutely. And again, that's to me is what makes this book and what you've done in you such a blessing to so many people. And I'm going to jump the gun a little bit because I'm so excited. So you recently did an event, a live event on Saturday, and you brought out a nice, healthy stack of books and share with the audience the result of what happened with that.
That was an amazing experience. It was my first experience selling my books. So I attended the Marigold Festival here in Huber Heights. I set up a table and displayed my books. I also had some bookmarks as my opener to get the people to bring them into me, and it
Hmm.
worked. So as I would hand the bookmark to the person, mainly focusing on the children, but if I didn't see a child, I'd ask an adult, would you like a bookmark?
Right, 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 right.
And so the bookmark is on anti-bullying. It actually has the picture of the book, and then I provided the phone number for the National Suicide Prevention or mental health, and also
Yeah,
in
the
talking
page
with
she's referring
people.
to, she has a list of all of the resources um, for bullying. So tons of
Yes,
resources. So I'm sorry, I just wanted to you mentioned that. I wanted to be sure did. That's a feature of the book too. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yes, thank you. So as a result of passing out the bookmarks and drawing the people in, I shared with them the book. I gave them the title of the book, Be a Blessing, Not a Bully.
Hmm.
And they were just taken by the title. And so they wanted to know more. They became more curious. And so I would let them look at the book, and they were fascinated. And I actually sold 30 books. So, woohoo! Uh,
Love it, love it, love it. Yes, yes, wonderful.
yes,
Yeah.
that was amazing. And I also got a couple of leads on a couple of agencies that would like to purchase more books and perhaps have me come and speak at their facility.
Fantastic, fantastic. It's an idea whose time had come, and
Yes.
that's why it all happened. So I'm so 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 happy for you. I just can't. You don't even know how happy I am for you. Because when you're doing this, you don't really, I mean, you have a passion and you have an idea, but you work from your heart. And as you all heard me say many times throughout the time we worked together, was ironically, it's not the book is, yes, is the transaction that happens between you and the reader, but what you're doing is so much bigger than a book
Exactly.
you
And
know
that's so fulfilling, is to know that there's a purpose behind it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's wonderful. Let's see. Let me see. I want to make sure I stick with the questions that I asked you. So I've actually kind of addressed, I actually asked you the questions without even looking at them, but my notes here, I asked you the name of the book and who it's for, and you've already addressed that, although it does say for children ages 5 to 13. But as we've just shared, is that anyone of any age can get value out of this. And even if you don't have children, if you have grandchildren, you've got nieces or nephews, even friends with children. Because sometimes, too, and you may find this to be true in your experience, it's hard for a child to say to an adult what's happening to them or to a teacher what's happening to them. Um, do you have any suggestions or ways that you maybe possibly work with schools or just trying to get the conversation going so kids can open up about it?
Actually, one of the young ladies that I encountered at the festival is a teacher. She's a therapist, and she looked at the book and she said, "This is awesome." And she mentioned that what she would do is she will put down the coloring book and give the child coloring pencils or crayons, and let them color and talk to them while they're coloring. And she'll color with
Mhm,
them. So it opens up the avenue for them to talk in a less intimidating atmosphere.
mhm, mhm. That's a good exercise and a practice too. I was going to ask you, I know this kind of said was the same connection, but back to using the book as a tool to get the child to open up. Are there any things that you would recommend to people listening, um, like red flags or warning signs or issues happening to maybe look out for your any child in your experience that may be experiencing bullying? Anything to be looking out for?
Yes, a few of the signs to look out for could be withdrawing from their friends and family when they're normally outgoing and
Hmm.
engaging.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't want to go to school, or if they do want to go to school and they don't want to associate with a certain person, that is
Mm-hmm.
another red flag, because
Mm-hmm.
it's telling me that the child has encountered some type of issue with that child, and is no longer secure around that child.
Mm-hmm. 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 And so the book could be a great way again to, have you found that there's been a different response to it from, say, younger children to older children, or is it seem like, I know it's a young book, but have you in your or has anyone come back to you and said, because I know we've been talking about a series of books addressing more specific niche areas like girls or boys and even children of color, and what have you. Is there anything in your experience so far that has inspired what you'll do next with the book?
Yes, I've talked to two children. They're the same age, one boy and one girl.
Mm-hmm.
They go to the same school.
Mm-hmm.
The boy says that there's no bullying, and the girl says that there is bullying,
Okay.
which was interesting. So it makes me want to work on a coloring book for the girls first, to address the issues that they're dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll create one for the boys.
Mm-hmm. 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 And possibly too, maybe even, dare I say, adults, because I mean, I know it does is why it's rarely spoken about, but I know it does happen with adults as well, maybe in workplace environments and things like that. So, you never know where it's going to go, but I feel for you there's just a wide range of opportunity to really bring attention to such an enormous issue that is so important. And what you're doing is really giving people a safe, creative place to talk, and express it. So what you've done really, your book really is a blessing. It truly is. The title is so appropriate. So I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's see. I don't have a couple more questions for you. What has been the most significant learning experience that you had in this process of actually doing this?
The most significant one is learning more about myself and being a silent bully, so that I can address that with people as well. Because we normally hear of bullying either verbally, physically, or cyberbullying. But
Mm, mm.
I haven't heard of silent bullying ever.
I haven't either. That's a new one to me. Talk about that. Just I know you did mention that was what you said you personally were experiencing for yourself, but I've never heard that term silent bullying before. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Right. So silent bullying is, if there's a conflict, normally people will debate or argue.
Hmm.
In my case, I don't debate or argue. I shut down, and I may leave the area. So the person no longer has the opportunity to get a resolution or get an answer.
Oh,
And as a result of that, then their mind starts wondering, well, what could I have done to make this situation better? What did I do? They start having
mm,
questions, but they don't have an answer because I shut down.
wow.
Right.
That was an
So,
eye-opener moment to say that. I never thought of it as positioned as that's a form of bullying to actually shut down and not really talk to the person anymore.
right. It's a form of manipulation, which is also a form of bullying. And it's a learned behavior. So it's not like I was born with it.
Right, right,
So,
right.
which is a blessing, because that tells me that it can be changed. So, with therapy, I have learned how to reprogram my mind to address issues, to be assertive in the conversation to get my point across without shutting down.
without shutting down. And I would just say, so I didn't know this was where this was going to go. So I'm having like a little bit of what I would call a come to Jesus moment with myself right now because I'm guilty of that, very much guilty of that. And I never ever thought of that as a form of manipulation or bullying. I think for my own, without going, I'm not going into these stories here, but I'll just say I didn't want to have the confrontation. So it was easier just shut down. And I never looked at it as I never looked at it that way. Talk about, Michelle says in the chat here, light bulb moment. You just gave me a huge light bulb moment, massive light bulb moment. I never ever thought of it that way. Wow.
Yes, yes. It was a light bulb moment for me as well. And it felt so good to know that there is a, a system out there to help me to process and to be able to use my voice in a manner
Hmm.
to get a resolution.
Hmm.
The key is to use my voice
Yeah.
when instead of shutting down.
Instead of shutting down. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the two extremes where either you shut down or cuss them out. It doesn't have to be either one of those.
Right.
I get it. I get it. Well, and that's what my initial thing was is that, if someone has upset you, then you go into using your voice and with anger. And for some people, it's like, I need to get louder and escalate to basically shut you down.
Right.
And so that was my impression that, um, to me, when I hear the word bullying, I think of a form of violence.
Correct.
But I never thought that shutting down and not speaking is also a form of violence because the person is then set back wondering. And I think to a degree that the person who's doing the shutting down is kind of secretly kind of like, yeah, leave them hanging, leave them wondering, you know, leave them
Exactly.
wondering what they did wrong and make them grovel and beg.
All of that. It
Yeah.
was it was all of that. And the unfortunate thing is that you leave that space for all kinds of negative thoughts to come
Hmm.
through their mind
Hmm.
because it is unknown. They have no idea of what to expect, what direction to go into, because they have no idea what you're thinking because you've shut down.
Because you shut down.
Yes,
That is absolutely you blown so many minds here. um,
exactly. So
with
I'm elated because now I feel like I can help other people so that we can cease the bullying in all facets.
in all facets of it. Well, we already know what your next book's going to be about: silent bullying.
Exactly.
And I'll be the first one in line to buy.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I may have to get a box because I know a few people that I need to be sending that book to. So that's amazing. That's amazing. I did not expect this where this went today, and I am beyond it. I can see by the comments here in the group that people are really, really. You're a blessing, and I'm glad that you recognized for yourself what was going on,
Yes.
and that you took the steps to help get yourself healed of that. And now you get to pass that on now in a fun, creative way. Because what I love about coloring and why I'm so grateful that this got put on my heart to do this is that a lot of books I don't always read. I mean, I go out and buy books all the time that I don't hardly read. But coloring forces you to set down and sit still and engage another part of your brain that's not just taking in information. And
Correct.
so by going through your book and going through the different exercises and the prompts and the different things you're doing, you're giving people an opportunity to really kind of go, Oh yeah, like I didn't realize that when I did that. And I know for me, I'm not outing anybody right now, but I know exactly where that came from. And
Yeah,
I learned from the master. So I know exactly where that came from. So yeah, you really are providing a tool and a resource to change lives. And so I honor you for that. In all seriousness, I truly do, for you putting what was on your heart to do and providing all of us with another way to look at things. Um, that we all can become better people and make the world a better place. And so I
thank
honor you for that.
thank you, thank you.
You are so welcome. So let's see. I only got a couple of last questions for you. Uh, where can people get a copy?
You can go to Amazon.
Okay.
You can do a search on "Be a Blessing, Not a Bully," and it should bring it up.
And I'm
The
going to
cost of
actually
the book is $9.99.
I'm going to help you all out here. I'm going to put it in the chat down here. And then and you also have a Facebook group as well of the same title.
That's
And
correct.
I'll put that in here too, so people can check out what they should be in your Facebook group. That way they can learn about everything that you're doing. So the link to Amazon and the link to your Facebook group are all here in the chat. I hope it's broadcasted to all the different areas. I'm not sure about that yet. If not, I'll go back through and put the links inside of there as well. And I guess I have one last question. And I think that last one is, any final words or thoughts for anyone dreaming of creating a coloring book of their own?
I would advise them to seek out Rodney Washington because he is such an amazing, gentle spirit who has a lot of patience with us all and a great sense of humor. And using all of those qualities, we were able to give feedback and feed off of each other and create something beautiful in 30 days.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've enjoyed working with each and every one of you. I'm so blessed to have all of you too. So this has been an amazing journey. I hear that the link might not have shown up. Oh, you know what? I didn't copy the whole Facebook group link. Did the link come through for Amazon? It might not. If not, don't worry about it. I'll go back and I'll comment I'll comment on the video replay and I'll put it in there because I'm not sure exactly why. Actually, let me try one more time and see if that'll work. Because while you're all here, okay, let's try that and see if that works. If not, like I said, I'll put the links in there again. So again, thank you so much, Cantona, for first of all for just being you, doing something that was put on your heart, doing it beautifully, and then sharing what I feel like has been an eye-opening revelation for so many of us. Do, and pick up this book. If you, it's for anyone, children, like I said, ages 5 to 13, all the way up to 58, soon to be 59, like me. Just it's for everybody. So I so appreciate what you've done. And the program that Cantona just mentioned is a program I created back in July called Publish and Promote Your Coloring Book in 30 Days. I am reopening the doors for that in a few weeks, couple of weeks. I'll be talking about that more. And if you're interested in learning more about that, I'm going to put a link also in the comments to join a notification list. But again, this is all a part of what I feel my calling is, and what's put on my heart is to take some of the is just there's so much going on right now in the world. And I know art and creativity was always something that was a part of my life since I was a kid. And I just feel like there just has to be an outlet for all of us, no matter how old we are. And I feel like coloring and creativity is one of the easiest ways. You just need a book and a set of pencils, or a book or a set of, crayons or whatever. And anybody can do it. Anyone can give themselves this gift. It's under $20 for the pencils and the book in most cases, at least 25. And give yourself that space and that respite. So, with the variety of topics that are out there, you can find something that'll suit where you are right now. And again, this is such an important topic. I'm going to put the book up again one more time so you all can see it because it is a beautiful book again. It's called Be a Blessing, Not a Bully. To me, it's showing in reverse. So, I hope that it shows the right way on the screen, and then the back is some of the sample pages inside of it. So again, it's a beautiful book, and I just feel, yeah, I'm just grateful that I got a chance to be a part of the journey with you on it. So, any last words for any of us today, Cantona?
Be a blessing, not a bully.
There you go. There you go. So what I'm going to do here is this is also a part of I'm doing a book bundle of everyone's book I'm interviewing. I'm giving away 3 bundles, and I'm going to be announcing those winners on Friday. And so if you're here watching live, obviously I can see you, so I know who is attending live, and your name will automatically go into a drawing. And we have 3 more interviews tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. and be about 30 minutes or so, as Cantona's and Lorraine's was yesterday. And then at the end of the day, I'll wrap up everything, and then I'll do a little spin, and I'll show you all of it, and we'll pick the winner, and I'll be giving these 3 winners each one of each of the author's books in a little bundle. So you'll be getting those sent out to me, so sent out to you. So thank you again, Cantona. Thank you all again, all of you, for coming today. I appreciate it. Thank God that the technological angels smile favorably on us,
Right.
and I hope this will continue over the next day, tomorrow. A couple of my authors are here now, and Michelle is one of the authors I'll be speaking with you about tomorrow. And again, just thank you all so much. So do check out her links. Do go over and check out her group. Do go over and just pick up a couple of copies of the book and give one to a friend. Think about anyone in your life that you think might could benefit from this, yourself included, and grab it because it is a very powerful topic that must be talked about. So again, God bless you, Cantona. Thank you so much, and God bless all of you. I appreciate
My
it.
pleasure.
All
God
right,
bless.
you all have a good evening. Take care of yourselves. This is the broadcast.